Alright, so I'm going to make another video about Swedish because people have been wanting me to make another Swedish video, and I haven't done one in a long time, and on my old videos, I think I sound probably a lot better by now. So, alright, don't know where to start. First, I will say hello to my friends Nina in Enköping, and also Marcus, and Malin and Falun, and Camilla in Finland. So you guys would all probably see this because I think this is how we all became friends anyway. Also to Nina, thanks for letting us stay at your place. That was really nice of you. So, we had a lot of fun. Can't wait to come back sometime. Alright, let's see, what should we start with? I didn't really make a list here. I'm going to have a little list. But let's start, even though it's just basic. Basic, greeting in Swedish would just be hey. It's H-E-J. I might have some words up here on the screen if I can make the video right, so I might have to spell everything out. You could just simply say hey, or hejsan, or hallå. So those are pretty simple. If you want to ask how somebody's doing, one of the slanger ways to say, I guess, more slang, to like what's up, you could just say tjena. But most people would say hur mår du? Hur mår du? I hope I'm saying that better than I used to, because I know it used to be a little funny and I rolled my R's a little bit too much. But there's a more formal way to say that if you meet somebody you don't know. I don't think many people say it anymore, but you could say hur står det till? Hur står det till? It's just how are you? How's it going? Literally, it's like, how's it standing? But, I don't really hear anybody say that, so you could just say, hur mår du? Hur mår du? It's like, I think it's kind of like, how's your well-being? Like, how you doing? Not really how you feeling, because that's a different word, but basically, if you're doing well, you would just answer bra. And don't laugh, because it is spelled like bra, which in Swedish is bh, but it's not the same thing. So it's just bra. If you're doing very well, you could say mycket bra, or jättebra, which is literally saying like giant well, like you're doing really well. If you're not doing so well, you could just say inte så bra, inte så bra, just not so well, not so good. Let's see, you could also say fint for fine. That's a pretty easy one. Let's say you just meet the person and you don't know their name. So you say, vad heter ni? If you don't know them. Now I read in a book that, you could use the informal word, most likely, which you probably can. But you can say, vad heter ni? If you don't know them really, or you could just say, vad heter du? Vad heter du? Which is literally saying, what are you called? And you would just answer, jag heter Josh, or whatever your name is. Or you could say, mitt namn är, my name is, you say your name. But usually you could just say, jag heter. It's much simpler. Okay, let's see. So, one more time. Jag heter. Let's see. And I want you guys to tell me when this video is over if I sound better than my old videos, which I would hope so, because that was like 6 years ago. But, let's see. If you want to say nice to meet you, you could just say trevligt att träffas. Or for the younger generation, I think you could say kul att träffas. It's like cool to meet you, Okay. And a lot of times in Swedish they don't use the word att as much, or so I heard. But I think they still say with nice to meet you. It's kind of a omitted word sometimes that they don't use in a lot of European languages actually, unlike English. Let's see, if you want to say nice to meet you back, if that sentence is too hard for you at first, you could just say du också, or detsamma, which means you also, or the same to you. So du också, detsamma. If you want to ask how old they are, you just simply say hur många år är du? Hur många år är du? How many years are you? So let's say I'm 24, so I would say jag är 24 år. Jag är 24 år. I'm 24 years old. Now, the 4 and 24 is a very tricky number, or way to pronounce. So, Swedish pronunciation, I learned a little tip actually on here from YouTube. Don't remember which video, but it's very helpful, so whoever uploaded it, thank you. I guess I should say tack. But, basically the Swedish Y, which I used to pronounce like the Swedish U at first because it was really hard for me to say, but that's not how you do it. And somebody once taught me this trick, like you hold your mouth like this, and you kind of say the U or something. It works, but I don't think you want to walk around holding your mouth like that if you ever go to Sweden. So, basically, you kind of make an O shape with your mouth, like you're going to say O, but then you say E instead, but you keep the O sound. I mean the O shape, sorry. You keep the O shape. So it's like E, E. And I've asked a lot of my Swedish friends, and they've told me that's either the perfect pronunciation or pretty close. So, you could try that if you're learning Swedish and you're having a hard time with it. So we could take, for instance, the number 4, which I had a pen. I don't know where it went, but we'll just say it. Okay, fyra, fyra. It's F-Y-R-A, or F-I-R-A. I had to think about that for a second. I think so. Anyway, haven't really looked at the alphabet in a while. But, so, I mean, when I first learned how to pronounce the Y in Swedish, I was at work all day, just saying the word, practicing, because it was a lot of fun, actually, because I'm a nerd and I love languages. But, you know, another good tip is if you are trying to learn a language because you need to, or because you just want to and you like them as much as I do, take your favorite song and just, like, sing it in your head or out loud, but translate it into whatever language you're trying to learn. I do that with Swedish all the time by accident, but it just happens. Let's see. I could do the vowels. Basically, they have 3 separate letters at the end of the alphabet that we don't have in English, and only one of them is really hard to pronounce, really, which is the well, actually, the Y is not a different vowel; it just has a different sound. That one's hard to pronounce. But there's also O, which is like saying all, but just kind of stressed more. Although I think it's a soft vowel in Swedish, but, you know, it's more pronounced, I guess. But it's simple. And then there's which is not really like It's kind of like but with a slight little R sound, I think, but you don't roll an R because there's really not an R there. So it's kind of like the best way I put it is if you try to say bird, like you're a British person. So you'd say bird, or so I would think. I mean, I'm not from England, but just saying. So, basically, I think you would spell it B-Ö-D. B with the umlaut, and then a D. If bird were a Swedish word. Not just rhymed. But, so basically that's how I figured it's the best way to describe how to pronounce So let's give an example. How about grön? Grön. Simple enough, that means green. Let's make it a little bit longer. Grönsaker. Grönsaker. Literally, I think it's kind of like green things, but it means vegetables. So that's a lot of things in Swedish are really easy like that, and you'll be amazed at how the words, like, I can't think of the other ones right now, but match up. Like, they make a lot of sense like that. Let's see, what else could I teach? I don't think I really wrote much else down. Well, how about pronouns? I don't know. So, you already know I, which is jag. Or sometimes they leave the G on the end off, I think. Kind of like, I leave it off when the next word starts with a vowel. So like if, about. No, consonant, sorry. So like if I'm saying, jag heter Josh. I don't really say jag heter Josh, which you could, and you're not going to be wrong if you do or don't leave it off. It's just depending on who you are and how you say things, or how you're taught. So it's really up to you, but it's just whatever feels more comfortable for you. Now, when there's like one that starts with a vowel, like I said by accident the first time, like jag är, I am, I pronounce the G because I feel like it the är kind of bounces off the G. So it kind of links up together. So it just sounds better to me, but that's a personal thing. You find out a lot of things in English are very similar to Swedish, and it's where we get a lot of our words, other than German and French and stuff like that. Because, take for instance the word knife in English. Why is there a K there? Why do we not pronounce it? Why is there an E at the end of it, and why don't we pronounce it? Because English is all kind of crazy. But basically, the Swedish word for knife is kniv. Kniv, which is K-N-I-V. You could simply look at that and tell that it's knife. So that's most likely one of our derivatives of the word, other than Norwegian and Danish, and maybe even German, because I don't know the German word for it. But that's pretty simple, but you pronounce the K's. There are quite a few words in Swedish with the K before a vowel. For instance, kvar, kvar, which means left. And not like you're right and you're left. It means like, let's see, jag är bara kvar här. I'm only left here. Like I'm the only one that's left. That kind of left. So, yeah. So words like that, you always pronounce the K before, if it comes before a consonant. It doesn't matter. It's pronounced. Although sometimes in Swedish if there's a G before a T at the end of words, like adjectives, they're not always pronounced. I think it just depends on the word. And sometimes they kind of sound like an English Y, which would be the Swedish J. So that's something you just kind of have to learn from memory. Let's see. Maybe we should practice some more words with the Y, which is kind of difficult. I mean, it was the most difficult for me, so I'm thinking it might be the most difficult for you. So how about the word nyckel? Nyckel. It means key. As simply a shorter word, you could say ny, which is just new. And once you get that down, you could say nyckel, and just add that on the end of it, and you can say key. So you could try that, and just remember the little rule. An O-shaped, but say E. So it's E, nyckel. Nyckel. Yeah. So, another word. And sometimes it's still hard for me to even say that, honestly. But if you don't think about it too hard and you just kind of go with it, it's a little easier. Well, here, let's do this now. Okay, there are two different ways, well, probably more than two, but the two that I know that you can pronounce a lot of different words. Let's take the word stjärna. Okay, I know it sounds a little funny for people who don't know Swedish or who are learning it just now, but stjärna, it means star. But you can also pronounce it stjärna. Now, I think one of my friends, actually I think Nina, you told me, or somebody did, that stjärna is like the posh Swedish or something. Like the Stockholm accent. I'm not really sure if that's true, but that's just what I've been told or heard or what I remember. But personally I say stjärna, which I don't know why I used to pronounce it stjärna, but I just like the other pronunciation better. I don't know why. And it's just, like I said, it's just whatever fits with you, whatever's easier for you. You know, the people are going to understand you. Especially with Swedish, not many people who speak English learn that. Oh, well, I'll take that back. I met a lot of people who like Swedish, like I do, but most likely where you live, you're not going to meet people that like it as much as, somebody who lives in Europe maybe. If you're over here in America like I am, But I just think it's interesting, and it's my favorite language. But and I kind of do have ABBA and 18s to blame for that, but it's okay. It's a good thing to blame them for. But same thing with the word sked, or sked. It's spoon, but you can pronounce it either way. Now, don't think I've said this yet. Swedish is what they call a tone language, and they call Norwegian and Danish that too, I believe. And basically, it's like a sing-song language, so things kind of go up and down. Like I said, sked. It's not just sked, it's sked. Like there's this, you hear this little jump in the word. Now, not every word is like that, but quite a few, and you just kind of learn how it goes. You get the hang of it. I mean, if you add that in there in a random word and it's, you're not supposed to, nobody's going to be mad. It doesn't matter. Like, they're going to understand you. Just don't do like I did. I was learning some German, and I gave it a Swedish accent by accident one time. So, yeah, don't do that. It's probably amusing to the Germans, though. But I'm wondering if I should stop the video now, because I think my channel can do videos longer than 15 minutes, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it. So I'll try to make another video. Hope this helped you guys out. Let me know how you like it. Låt mig få veta om du gillar det. Okej. Det var allt. Ha det bra. Hej då.